Hello everyone. Friday, March 26, 2021. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day. And I didn't do a video last week because unfortunately I had a death in the family, and honestly I just didn't care too much about doing a video during that time. So I have a lot of books to show. It was a really big week for books. And so let's jump right into it. First, we're going to jump in with Marvel. Amazing Spider-Man 62, cover A, of course, a new costume, a temporary new costume. You see it right there on the cover. And variant right there, which I like. This was selling pretty good, and I just kind of like the whole look of this cover here. Really hot book, blowing off the shelves. Sold a lot better than I thought it would, but this is Alien #1. The only cover I picked up was the all black cover. There was a ton of covers for this, and honestly they were selling really good from what I was being told by the comic shops. Next up, really popular book, hot book this week. Again, one of my favorite covers I'll show on this. This is Carnage, Black, White, and Blood #1. Here's one cover here. Cover 2. And the cover that everybody wanted. Really nice looking cover right there. So there was that. That was it for Marvel, but if you look at the books, that was a really big week for Marvel for me. We will jump right into DC. DC was also a big week. First book up, Detective Comics 1034. This storyline sold out pretty quick at most shops. Another book that sold out really quick, Batman Superman #16. Future State Teen Titans issue #1. Pretty cool cover right there. I just grabbed that. I thought it was a cool cover. Fix this a little bit. Detective 1034. That's the cover A right there. New Harley Quinn storyline. This was selling pretty good. This was cover A. Cover B, of course, Harley has a new friend in this storyline. And, you know, Harley Quinn is kind of cooled off a lot. I think that last movie had a lot to do with it. But it still sells relatively decent. So I picked that up. And then a couple books I picked up. This is the Black Label. Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn. Brand new costume right there on the cover. And then kind of a Batman-esque standing on a gargoyle, which I thought was a pretty nice look as well. And then another book that I haven't read yet, I am looking forward to it. Batman Black and White issue #4. A new Robin comes into this one here, or a character who's going to play a new Robin. Have not read it yet, but I am looking forward to reading it. Now we are going to jump into the independent books. One I picked up last week, of course, which I didn't show. This is a storyline that I talked to everybody about, and I told everybody about it. It was a 3-part storyline from Antarctic Press, selling really, really well, blowing off the shelves. Hot Valley Days, Cocaine Nights #3. If you see what this book is doing, very, very limited and selling very, very well. Just cool covers on this. I don't read the story too much. This is pretty much a cover purchase for me. This is from Image, The Scumbag #6. This was the 1 in 10. I thought it was pretty funny, so I picked that up. Ha-Ha #2, second print, all pink cover. And then Ha-Ha #3, cover A. And cover B. As it relates to Ha-Ha, I love the first story. I thought issue #1 was really good. I thought issue #2 was better than issue #1. And then #3 just really dropped the ball for me. I did not enjoy the third story. So, you know, it's still 2 out of 3 is pretty good. So I'm going to give it a chance if another one comes out. Next book out, Berserker. And of course, you can't even see this with it's a foil cover for Berserker #1. And we will talk about the importance of this book in 1 second. I looked forward to the second book. I read the first one. I really liked it. This is also from Image, Stray Dogs #2, cover A. And of course, the Pet Sematary Homage cover B. Read this one, thought it was really, really good. Am looking forward to the third one. But again, like we said in the past, I enjoy books seen through the eyes of animals. I just think they're pretty good. Of course, nothing really matches me like Red Rover Charlie, which I thought was a fantastic storyline, but we'll see. Book from Scout Comics, Rabid World. It's going to be probably another zombie apocalypse book right here. We'll see what happens with that. Scout Comics. And then another book I picked up just for the sake of getting it, because I kind of like the war-themed books. This is from Behemoth. This is Vietnam Horror #1. Looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with this here. Those were the books I picked up this week. Now, talking about Berserker. So, if you bought Berserker #1, inside your book, you got one of these coupons. This is a little postcard coupon that states that when issue #2 of Berserker comes out, if you buy issue #2, you are entitled to get a copy of Something is Killing the Children #1, 8th print. Now, we know how Something is Killing the Children is, especially the earlier issues, but something that a lot of people don't know, just because you have the card, just because you bought the book, does not guarantee you a copy of Something is Killing the Children, the 8th print that comes out. I believe it's April 14th or April 21st, somewhere around there. And that is going to be the big issue, because shops are only going to get a limited number of those copies of the book. Now, what are they going to do? How are they going to give those out? Are they going to give them out on a first-come, first-served basis? Are they going to say, well, this particular box customer did buy a Berserker foil cover and has a card, and he's been buying Something That's Killing the Children since day one, or has been buying Something That's Killing the Children consistently, and they're going to get their first choice? That is how I think it should be done. If you were buying Something That's Killing the Children, or you have been buying Something That's Killing the Children, those should be the people who get the first chance to get them, because the only people who are going to be fighting for these are speculators. Most of the people trying to get these books are going to try to flip them real fast. There is stories of people taking the cards out of the book, thinking if I grab 10 cards, I'm going to get 10 copies of the book. That is not how it works. Shop orders 100 books. They might get 10 of the Something That's Killing the Children 8th printings. So it is going to be a hot book. I think there's going to be more issues out there than some of the earlier 2nd, 3rd, 4th printings of a book, simply because I think they're going to print a lot so people can get them. But still, even with all the printings they're going to do, it's still going to be a very limited book. So again, my thought process is, if you've been buying the book and you're a box customer, you should be the one who gets the first chance to get it. Because speculators, like I said, are just going to try to jump ahead of the line, try to get the book so they can flip them real quick. So there was that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that in the comments, if you think that's the way it should be, or they should do it somewhere else. Now, we will jump right into just some books. I found some books in storage, just things that I dug up. So this was new stuff I found today. So I'll just kind of show you what I got. I found, speaking of Hot Valley Days Cocaine Nights, I found 3 copies, additional copies of #1. Like I stated, I loved Hot Valley Days Cocaine Nights. Was one of the books I put out there on my Hot Pick videos. And I found 3 copies of #2, but this is the covered variant version of it. There is also a topless variant that sells for close to $100 consistently. These books are all selling very well because it's Antarctic Press. They didn't make tons and tons of copies. And you know what? They sell out real quick. Shops are only getting a couple of copies of it. So I was ordering these very heavily because I thought it was a very cool concept about, you know, an 80s drug dealer. And so, like I stated, it would be a book that I would be interested in. And so I bought very heavily on that. Now I'll show just a couple of quick little vintage books. Some things I found recently. Crypt of Shadows #1. Just put some new Mylar on there. And then, of course, like I stated on the vintage, I use the painter's tape because painter's tape comes off real easy. And it's just going to keep it. Just real cool book right here. Ventures into Fear #18. Someone asked me once, how do you look this up in the price guide? Because I can never find it. It is under fear. It is under fear in the price guide. And then in parentheses, it'll say adventures into. And so look it up under fear. Grim Ghost, Son of Satan appearance, Grim Ghost number 2 from 1975. I also found 2 copies of Something is Killing the Children number 10, second prints. These don't sell for a ton of money, but it's still a second print, more limited than the regular issue. I was happy with that. I found a number 11. And then one that I was really happy for. I remember this was another book that I was all over from day one, and I told people about that. There's additional copies of this because I bought this book very heavily every week. This is 4 copies. Number 9, second print. Right there, I believe it's second print. Whether or not it is, these are going for like $50 online right here. And so I found 4 additional copies of that to go with like the other 9 I have. And it's not me hoarding or showing off. It's just me, showing you that, you know what, when I tell you that I think there's a book that's going to be hot and I'm going to order it heavily, I do order it heavily. That's just how I did it, because I'm not going to give any information on books that I'm looking forward to without buying them myself. I don't do that. And then last week there was a one-day comic book show here locally in Las Vegas, the first type of show that was there. It was supposed to be from 10 in the morning till 5. I was able to get off work a little early on a Sunday because it was only one day, and I rushed this location. I got there at about 3:45, and unfortunately dealers were packing up. They didn't even stay open until after 4. And so I was kind of irritated and disappointed about that, because my thing is, if you say you're going to be open for a certain amount of time, you should be open that amount of time. I understand that most of the people are gone, but there are people who probably can't get there that early, whether they have church or they have to work like I did. So there's really no reason to close up early. Don't advertise like that, because I got there, I thought I'd have like an hour to walk around. I didn't have any time to walk around. But anyways, a book that I found, this is from 1954, pre-code. This is Crime and Justice number 20, right here. Outside cover, 6.5. It's a pretty nice copy for this. I got it at a pretty good price. But the thing I liked about it was you can kind of see it here. There's outside cover, back cover, double cover. A double cover of a pre-code book, which you do not see that much of, and I was very happy when I saw that, and didn't even have to. He had a price. The person had a price at a very good price, and it was like I don't have to think about it. How that book stayed there is beyond me, because the gentleman I bought this book from said that tons of people were there, a lot of people looking for pre-code stuff. How do you let a double cover pre-code book? I don't care what the book is. It's a double cover, and it's a pre-code, which, I mean, from 1954, you should snap those up all the time, because that will bring a big premium. So there was that. One last thing, or a couple things. If you didn't see the news, Marvel has taken away their distribution from Diamond. Diamond had already lost DC during the pandemic. And then people are complaining that, Diamond really doesn't care too much about the condition they send their books in. They just kind of throw them in boxes. They don't care. They come in damaged. The variants come in damaged. And that was a real irritant for not only, shop owners who are paying for these books, but customers who have a hard time trying to find the books. And so it was announced that Marvel is now going to be going through Penguin Random House to distribute their books every week. Now, Penguin Random House does issue some books out now to not so much, they don't do it to comic shops, but they do it to other retail outlets, or they had done them to other retail outlets. And so now they're going to be doing comic shops every week, and Diamond is kind of left out now. They lost DC, they lost Marvel. The independents are going to start going away from that as well. Diamond didn't learn. Diamond was getting complaints from their customers about the way the books were being packed. They didn't care. They thumbed their nose thinking, I'm the only one out there. Now, they've had an exclusive contract since 1997 with Marvel to be the only distributor of their books to the comic shops. Well, they just lost that because of their crappy service. So, good for Marvel, who may have, heard, hey, you know what? We're tired of people complaining about the damaged books. We're getting some of the feedback. We're going to make a change. And they did make a change. So good for Marvel. Shame on Diamond for not taking care of that. And then lastly, someone asked me a question that when I did my question and answer video, I didn't get a chance to get to. I don't believe I got a chance to get to it. I'm going to say it anyways. So they talked about when you open up a shop, are you going to have box customers? Well, yes and no. I am going to have box customers at the shop, but they're going to be box customers that are hand-picked box customers, because if you look at the way comic shops run, you have to pay for those books outright. And I see a lot of comic book shops that just have thousands of dollars of books that have never been picked up, either laying in backstock on the floor or packed up in boxes. Now, some of the titles aren't a big deal because you can send them back for credit, but there are titles that are not allowed to go back in credit. So you just kind of eat that money until it sells. So I'm not going to do that. I think in the shop, now you need customers. I understand that. And this is not a way of saying that, this shop is better than everybody. But this is a way of knowing that, you know what? In order to be a box customer where I'm going to pre-buy things for you to put them in the shop, that's a privilege. That's not a right. That should be a privilege that I trust a person enough to spend X amount of money every week, X amount of money every month on the hope that you come in and buy books. Now, I already have a handful of people that I know who've reached out and said, you know me, and I do, and I know they pick up their books every week. I watch that type of stuff when I go to shops. Who are the consistent customers? Who are the people that I know who I've, made contact with? And I have about 20 people right now that had stated that when you do open a place down the road, I'm definitely going to want a box, and I'm definitely going to pick up my books every week. And they will, and I will open up that box. But it's just not going to be where a person comes in to try to order a bunch of the hot book, and then they order a bunch of other stuff, thinking that you're going to be a good customer, and then they stop picking things up. Okay, small businesses are hurting right now. I will be a small business, and I don't have the financial ability to buy, $1,000 in books, whether it's, a week, a month, whatever, that are not going to be picked up because customers don't care. And unfortunately, there's a lot of customers out there that don't give a shit because they're figuring, I'll just pick up what I want. I see people, we've talked about this before, they go to these shops, the shop gives them their stack of books that they've ordered, nice little stack of books, and then they take out the, 8 or 9 hot books and then say, okay, I'll put some of these back in my box, I'll pick them up later, or you know what, I don't need these, I'll put them back out on the shelf. That's not how it works. It's not a layaway for you to pick and choose what you want. You order a book, you pick that book up, whether you want it or not, you have to pick up that book. I'm not going to be that shop that has to close my doors because I have $10,000 or $15,000 in stock that never got picked up that I had to pay for. So if you are going to have a box at my shop, it's going to be a privilege to have a box at the shop. Now, some people might not agree with that. That's okay. But I guarantee you the people that I give a box to will pick their stuff up every week, and I'm not going to have that issue, in a large sense. There's always going to be 1 or 2 people that aren't going to be able to do it every week or something happens. But for the most part, I'm not going to be stuck with a long box of books every week because someone didn't pick up their books. So there was that. Again, kind of a ramble video. It's kind of all over. Like I stated, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now, due to the death of my uncle, who I was very close to. And so, I will try to tighten up the video a little bit. But I wanted to get something out there. I got a lot of people reaching out asking if everything was okay. Well, I'm okay. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now. I hope you liked the books that I showed. I hope you liked that Pre-Code Golden Age book because I love that book. And again, if you have a chance to pick something up like that, you pick it up because you don't see those every day just coming across the desk saying, oh, look, it's another Pre-Code, double cover, triple cover. It doesn't work that way. So again, if you're a subscriber to the channel, I thank you for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell so you know when the new videos are coming out. And again, I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your feedback. And as always, I hope you like the video, but if you don't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great, great day, and I will see you in a few days.